This program is presented by International Container Terminal Services, Inc., Excellence Uncontained, ICCT Colleges, a global Pinoy distinction.
Thank you for tuning into Business and Beyond. Next in the discussion of our economic agenda is that on human resource development, which includes health and education systems, skills matching and training so that we meet the demands of business and private sector.
A successful implementation of this agenda is expected to help address the issues of unemployment and underemployment as a way to improve the lives of our people.
Also in this episode, we get a glimpse of the short to long-term prospects and issues that an educational institution faces.
This comes next after a summary of last week's major business news.
Fine jewelry manufacturers are continuously working on original and innovative designs as they hope to increase their revenues by 10% annually. Make Hawaiian Jewelry Industry Association or MJIA Chairman Cecilia Ramos said that the Philippines is now well known in the international market for high-quality jewelry and should now be considered a source of these products. This she said following the winning of an MJIA member, Kit Silver Jewelry Company, on the ASEAN Jewelry Design Competition last year for excellence and top quality fashion jewelry. This year, the MJIA will be holding its yearly Philippine Fine Jewelry Design Competition with an awarding ceremony in November at the Jewelry Greenhouse Shopping Center, San Juan. International Container Terminal Services, Inc., Excellence Uncontained, ICCT Colleges, a global Pinoy distinction. International Container Terminal Services, Inc., Excellence Uncontained, ICCT Colleges, a global Pinoy distinction.
The jobs and labor competitiveness agenda gains momentum and shifts from the executive to legislative as far as the Senate committee is concerned. Business and Beyond is pleased and honored to have with us the chairman of the Senate Committee on Labor, Senator Joel Villanueva. Sir, thank you for joining us in this discussion.
Thank you, Ma'am Lisa. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Yes. Now, building up on your accomplishments in TESDA, what are the issues that you'd like to address this time at the Senate?
Well, definitely continuing what we have started in TESDA, one of which is to ensure that we'll be able to institutionalize all these reforms that we introduced. And so when I came in the Senate, I was talking about jobs, and jobs, which I believe is very important, not only in our economy, but also in the daily lives of our people.
Sir, what is left to be done to address the job skills mismatch? Kasi ang tagal na, sir, no? Di ba?
And when you talk about job skills mismatch, it's not only about the labor sector or one particular sector. It involves a lot of sectors, especially the labor sector and the education sector. And there's no way you'll be able to address the issue of job skills mismatch unless you partner with the industries, with the companies, unless you find out the specific skills requirement, what they really need.
What is the most in-demand industry skill, no?
You know, when I was in TESDA, I remember we had this meeting with the Department of Labor and its attached agencies. And there were about 5-6 sectors that we need to focus on. These are agriculture, semiconductor and electronics, IT BPM sector, tourism, construction, and others, including logistics probably. And if you look at the, for example, IT BPM sector, the voice or the call center industry alone needed about 130 to 150,000 call center agents every year.
Every year.
Every year. And we can only supply about 30 to 40,000. When we came in, I remember we were given additional funding from the president to ensure that we'll be able to continue and bridge the gap of these graduates, or they call it near hires. We were able to reach 86% employment rate among the graduates.
Taas na nun.
Yes, ma'am. And through also with the animation, with health information office, etc. And so, if you look at these sectors, it's really interesting to find out what are the missing links.
Oh, ma.
And it is important that we'll be very sensitive about it.
What specific bills should we help push so that we address this issue in the next 6 years?
Gaya nung sabi ko kanina, sa labor and education sector, kailangan pagtuunan ng pansin. For example, in the education sector, si former President Noynoy Aquino signed executive order for Philippine Qualifications Framework. This will harmonize our curriculums at all levels, from DepEd, TESDA to CHED, and with the international alignments, yung mga tinatawag na mutual recognition arrangements will be in place. And so, there will be 8-level descriptors which will help the industries, the companies, differentiate the competencies of their workers. At kung ikaw naman ang worker, madali mong masusukat saan ka ba. The academe sector would always say, this is our dream, to have our very own Philippine Qualifications Framework. It's gonna take some time probably, but the time is now. And then when you go to the labor sector, syempre siguro yung pinakamainit dyan, yung ENDO, no? Yung ending the evils of the so-called contractualization.
Are there negative scenarios that we are looking after we remove all the endos and the 555?
I think yung negative would come from the chismis and the lack of awareness, no, on what we are doing. Our goal here is to ensure na, syempre, at the end of the day, gusto natin yung negosyo nakatayo nandyan, mas maraming investors na pumupunta, mas skilled ang ating workers, mas hinahanap yung ating mga workers. Because I think all of us would agree, even in the world market, na we have the best workers in the world. Again, our solution here is to have a clear-cut classification of our workers. At siguro dalawa lang talaga, probationary and regular.
Para malinaw.
Yung sinasabi nating contractual, yung sinasabi nating seasonal, yung sinasabi nating project-based, they have to be part of the regular.
I know, marami pang dapat sana pag-usapan, but the sessions are starting. So, we'd like to thank you for accommodating our interview, sir. Thank you for joining us.
It's a great honor and privilege, Lisa. God
Thank
bless.
you. God bless po. And Business and Beyond will be back.
International Container Terminal Services, Inc. Excellence Uncontained. ICCT Colleges, a global Pinoy distinction. International Container Terminal Services, Inc. Excellence Uncontained. ICCT Colleges, a global Pinoy distinction.
We're back at Talking Business here at Business and Beyond. We have always taken pride of the fact that our human resources is our #1 advantage and business asset. But this competitiveness is besieged by so many issues, including education, the regulatory environment, incentives, and even technology and market developments. We have with us the President of the Employers Confederation of the Philippines to give their stake on these matters. Business and Beyond welcomes Ambassador Donald G.D. Sir, thank you for joining us today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
First, Do we still have that problem of labor skills mismatch?
This is still a rather serious problem. What have we done to really focus on technical and vocational skills training program? We have not done much of that. In the past, of course, we had TESDA, and TESDA is all over the country, but they were giving vanilla type training, you know, whether it's for manicuring, and they were giving training for auto mechanics, but they don't have the facilities. So we really have not done much. Consequently, the economy changed. As you know, because we failed to sustain our competitiveness, our whole industrial sector began to suffer. Now we are trying to work together with government, specifically with DepEd, Department of Education, with TESDA, with Department of Trade and Industry, and with Department of Labor. We now have a program for skills development.
There are so many players in this issue. Who is taking the lead?
I would like to think that it would be the Department of Trade, jointly with the Department of Labor and Employment. That should be it. And then in the private sector, right now it is the Philippine Chamber is taking the lead with ECO, but this is mainly for skills training.
Again, the very hot topic on contractualization. Can you briefly discuss the position of ECO on this matter?
First, we must define what is contractualization, because we have sectors in the economy such as the construction industry, the BPO industry, working on the basis of outsourcing. If we outlaw it, that whole industry will just collapse. At any rate, we did try to define what was referred to as illegal, and it is illegal, is the 555, and which leads to end of contract or ENCO. We truly believe that with what's happening now, we will be able to reduce this practice or exploitative practice of 555.
Now, the advent of technology is proving to be a threat to addressing the issue of employment, because as we know, if we employ technology, it becomes more efficient.
No, it is a problem because then you're now leading to the new era of industrialization, which is really led by technology and innovation. That's the reason why we even have to look at amending the labor codes, because the traditional thinking of employment is that, you know, you have to come to work 8 to 5, 40 hours a week. That doesn't follow anymore. The basis for employment would really be output.
You started talking about labor code. Any urgent provision that we need to push in this next Congress?
It's urgent, as I said, because the environment has changed. You know, the whole approach to employment has changed. This is an antiquated labor code of 35 years. You know? So all of the provisions that we're proposing to change really are urgent. But can we do it fast? I don't know.
As the new president of ECOP, are there new initiatives or projects and programs that you are taking the organization and the members in the coming years?
Yes, definitely there will be not a departure, but less emphasis on just pure advocacy. And because of the rapid changes in the environment, we're putting a service center in ECO with two objectives. One, you know, to service our SMEs. The labor laws are very complicated, and the SMEs, they are not aware. Suddenly, they wake up one morning and they have problems with the Department of Labor because some employees filed a case with NLRC. So, what we aim to do is we tell them, okay, you come to ECO. We will then help you. The other thing is we are also in the part of the service we offer is how to train them in this new environment of employment. So these are new services that we will offer in ECO.
Yes, you talked of training. Is this already in the budgets and consciousness of companies?
They would not have to put so much money in their budget, because we will offer the programs in conjunction with Tesla and all that. So they can always send. What will happen only is that they will have to give some time for their workers to be trained.
So any message to the incoming government, especially to the Department of Labor and Employment?
We continue to work together. There are a lot of headwinds, but I think if we sit down in a round table to discuss all these issues, at the end of the day, we're all here in order to increase the economic pie, to provide more jobs so that we can elevate the lives of our people.
Okay, thank you very much, Ambassador D. Business and Beyond will be right back.
International Container Terminal Services Inc. Excellence Uncontained. ICCT Colleges, a global Pinoy distinction. International Container Terminal Services Inc. Excellence Uncontained. ICCT Colleges, a global Pinoy distinction.
We're back at Business and Beyond. Inclusive education for inclusive growth. This is one philosophy subscribed to by the Institute of Creative and Computer Technology, or ICCT colleges, which cater to mostly the B, C, and D market. Let's learn more about this from its chairman, Ambassador William Ko.
Welcome to ICCT
Thank you,
Colleges.
thank you, sir. Can you talk about what you do, what you are involved in, especially your advocacy?
I'm an Associate Trustee of PHILEXPORT, PCCI Director in charge of Agriculture Committee, Chairman and Founder of ICCT Colleges, among many ventures in position I have held in academia and business.
And as a trustee at PhilExport, what do you do, sir?
My job as Associate Trustees is to help promote higher learning education. As export sectors, most important components is human resources.
Right. How did ICCT come about? When did it start?
In 1992, I established ICCT as a textbook institution, starting with IT courses. Then in 1994, we started offer CHED courses.
Can you talk to us about the profile of your students and graduates?
Our graduates are mainly from B, C, D, and E income family bracket. The backbone of workforce in our country's economy. The major of our graduate work as OFWs. A portion are engineers and skilled workers in the semiconductor industry. The rest are mostly in the BPO sector.
Can you talk to us about agriculture, the advocacy that you have?
My job in PCCI is to promote agro enterprises and rural tourism. The good things is the agri-development is that it will not only provide income for our rural folks, it's also provide for food security for our population as well.
Where else are you involved in? Where does family come in?
I'm also the honorary consul of Namibia to the Philippines. My free times is spent with family, growth, with my global buddies, and with my personal CSR activities.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, a holistic type of education and human resource development. Mr. Ko's involvement in advocacy on agriculture, on the environment, and especially education by providing affordable education is something that ICCT espouses as well. Thank you, Ambassador Ko. Thank you very much for having us here. Thank you very much. Business and Beyond will be right back. Celebrating its 50th anniversary, OB Montessori Center Inc. continues to pursue its vision of excellence, public service, and corporate social responsibility, inspired by its growing number of world-class graduates. Business and Beyond is pleased to have with us the founder of OB Montessori Center to share with us insights, prospects, and challenges in the future. Please welcome Dr. Preciosa Solidan.
Thank you. Maraming salamat.
How did the school evolve, no? From when it started?
Way back in 1959, my husband and I have arrived from Saigon, where I was already teaching. I began in a Montessori preschool in Makati until the Italian ambassador offered a scholarship to me. So I came back from Italy, and Operation Brotherhood International set up Operation Brotherhood Philippines, and then Oscar said, Arellano, you know, let's make it financially self-sustaining. Although to operate a good school, you need money, we must not remove the message that school is for service, like medicine and lawyering. So education is for service.
You were also talking about an outreach program.
Because our beginning was for the refugees of Vietnam and Laos. We developed a program that's affordable, like 200 pesos a month. And National Housing Authority allowed me to set up in Sapang Palay. Even here in Krame, we call them Pagsasarili Preschool. Magmula sa Ifugao hanggang sa Mimaropa, hanggang sa Batangas. We have 156. Ang pinakamadami dito ay kay Congresswoman Vilma Santos.
What is the strength of your curriculum, ma'am, and program?
Ang conventional education makes the child memorize. Sa Montessori, magmula sa preschool, naghahawak na sila ng materials. Lahat ng subject may materials.
We know that OB Montessori has its own style. So, what are the prospects? Are there changes that you see that you need to be involved in or
Yeah.
to do?
We have invited Deputy Secretary Briones, to guest in our 50th anniversary event, where I invited school heads also. And her expertise is management and finance, which we need badly. To make all schools run well in the Philippines, the financial aspect must be enough to sustain quality. Actually, UNESCO says to eradicate poverty, the answer is quality education.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for sharing all these things with us.
On occasion of our 50th anniversary, I put together 2 books. Since our country needs a lot of changes so that we can transform our inner character, I thought I'd write about how well do you know the wonders of your children. And the other book is Re-engineering Teacher Education for the 21st Century to Eradicate Poverty.
Oh, and we wish you another 50 years or more.
Salamat din.
Business and Beyond will be back.
In Marikina, a new comfort food is introduced to those who want a unique dessert experience.
Nandito po tayo sa Cookie Mug Snack Lounge, and we have Chef Kat and the owner, Dominic. And they have something to share that's unique. Ito po, they call it cookie shots. Chef Kat, can you please explain what these cookie shots are about?
Well, yan po yung, syempre, bagong trend po ngayon. Yung cookie po natin, the Dasa milk po.
Right.
Why not try naman po is, while drinking the milk, you can also eat the cookie at the same time po. This one po, we have po chocolate and cookies and cream po na flavor po ng cookies.
Okay, so when they buy this, it comes with this.
With choices of drinks po. We have milk, chocolate, caramel, and mocha po.
Sarap. Kasama yung flavor kasi nung cookie, no?
Pag milk po yung choice of drinks 8.
So different prices.
Opo. Kapag naman po, chocolate, caramel, and mocha, that's 78 pesos po.
Okay, so this is the large. Ito yung kanyang serving. And then, ito naman yung mug. Yes, alright.
Bali, yung large po natin, 108, the shot itself, 138 po with milk, and 148 po with the other choices.
I think this is a good idea. Wala ka nang huhugasan up. Kakainin mo na pati lalagyan, no? Okay, cheers.
Would like to invite you to try our very own creation, cookie shots here at Cookie Mug Snack Lounge. Cookie Mug po, shot.
This wraps up this episode of Business and Beyond. We hope we have given you new insights that will be helpful in the discussion and implementation of the administration's education agenda.
We hope to see you again next week, same time, same channel.
Please visit our social media accounts and let us know your comments and suggestions.
Always remember, connections matter. Here at
Business and Beyond!
This program was presented by International Container Terminal Services, Inc., Excellence Uncontained, ICCT Colleges, a global Pinoy distinction.